This is Egypt, a country where almost everyone lives beside a single river, where one of the world's largest deserts hides the fossils of ancient whales, and where people built monuments so massive they remain the tallest structures on Earth for nearly 4,000 years. They call Egypt the gift of the Nile, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why. Starting from fact number 30, Egypt is bigger than most people realize. Covering more than 1 million square kilometers, it's larger than France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom. But here's the strange part. Almost all of that land is empty, and some of the emptiest places in Egypt are also its most fascinating. Fact 29. Egypt is home to one of the largest hot deserts on Earth, the Sahara. In some parts of western Egypt, years can pass without a single drop of measurable rain. Imagine standing somewhere so dry that generations could grow up without ever seeing rainfall. Yet somehow, life still found a way to flourish here. Fact 28. Egypt has more than 1,500 kilometers of Mediterranean coastline. Ancient Greeks, Romans, and countless merchants arrived here by sea, making Egypt one of the world's oldest trading crossroads. Geography didn't isolate Egypt from the world. It introduced the world to Egypt. Fact 27. Speaking of crossroads, Egypt sits on one of the most important pieces of land on the planet. It connects Africa and Asia while standing at the gateway between Europe and the Middle East. For thousands of years, armies, traders, and explorers all passed through this narrow corner of the world. Control Egypt, and you controlled one of history's greatest crossroads. Fact 26. Here's something most people don't know. Egypt has 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. From ancient temples and medieval cities to deserts filled with fossils millions of years old, the country preserves thousands of years of both human and natural history. Few places on Earth can tell so many different stories at once. Fact 25. Okay, here's where it gets weird. Deep beneath Egypt's deserts are enormous underground reservoirs of freshwater. The Nubian Sandstone Aquifer is one of the largest fossil water systems on Earth. Some of this water has been trapped underground for more than 1 million years. In one of the driest countries on Earth, an ancient ocean still sleeps beneath the sand. Fact 24. Egypt's deserts aren't just empty landscapes. They constantly move. Powerful desert winds create enormous sand dunes that can rise higher than a 30-story building and slowly migrate across the landscape over time. The desert isn't standing still, and somehow, Egypt gets even stranger. The colored canyon in Sinai looks like something from a painting. Layers of red, yellow, purple, and orange sandstone twist through narrow passageways carved over millions of years. It feels less like walking through a canyon and more like walking through time itself. Fact 21. Egypt is one of the few countries on Earth where you can ski and scuba dive on the same day. The Sinai Mountains occasionally receive snowfall during winter, while just a few hours away, the Red Sea offers some of the world's most spectacular coral reefs. Desert, mountains, and tropical waters all in the same country. Fact 20. The Red Sea is home to more than 1,200 species of fish and hundreds of species of coral. Remarkably, many of them are found nowhere else on Earth. Scientists are especially interested in these reefs because they appear to be unusually resistant to rising ocean temperatures. They may even help us understand how coral reefs around the world could survive climate change. Fact 19. Egypt is home to one of Africa's largest metropolitan areas. Greater Cairo has a population of well over 20 million people. That's more people than live in many entire countries. Ancient monuments may define Egypt's past, but megacities are shaping its future. Fact 18. For over 3,000 years, ancient Egyptians wrote using hieroglyphs, making it one of the world's longest continuously used writing systems. Then one day, humanity forgot how to read it. For nearly 1,400 years, hieroglyphs remained a mystery until the discovery of the Rosetta Stone finally unlocked their secrets once again. Fact 17. Ancient Egyptians were obsessed with time. Their calendar divided the year into 365 days thousands of years before the modern Gregorian calendar existed. 12 months, 30 days each, plus 5 additional festival days at the end of the year. Sound familiar? Our modern calendar owes more to ancient Egypt than most people realize. Fact 16. Long before satellites, GPS, or modern maps existed, ancient Egyptian sailors were navigating by the stars. They aligned temples with the movements of the sun and built monuments that still astonish engineers today. Thousands of years later, we're still discovering how much they knew about the world around them. And the most incredible part of Egypt's story is still waiting for us. Egypt is mostly desert. More than 95% of the country is covered by arid land. Endless sand seas, rocky plateaus, and barren mountains stretch for hundreds of kilometers. You could drive for hours without seeing a single town. But here's the strange part. Despite all that land, almost nobody actually lives there. Fact 14. Around 95% of Egyptians live on just about 4% of the country's land. Almost all of them live along the Nile River and its delta. Look at Egypt from space at night and you'll see a bright light cutting through complete darkness. Step away from that light and civilization almost disappears. One river carries an entire nation. Fact 13. That river is the Nile, one of the longest rivers on Earth, stretching for more than 6,600 kilometers across 11 countries before reaching the Mediterranean Sea. Nearly every major city, every farm, and almost every person in Egypt depends on it. Without the Nile, Egypt simply wouldn't exist. Fact 12. For thousands of years, the Nile flooded every summer. When the water finally retreated, it left behind rich black soil perfect for farming. In the middle of one of the driest places on Earth, the river created a strip of fertile land that fed an empire. That's why the ancient Egyptians called their country Kemet, meaning the Black Land. Fact 11. Here's something that confuses almost everyone. The Nile flows south to north. It sounds backwards, but rivers don't care about maps. They follow gravity. The river begins in the highlands of East Africa and slowly flows downhill until it empties into the Mediterranean Sea. So if you're sailing upstream on the Nile, you're actually traveling south. Fact 10. Egypt doesn't belong to only just one continent. The Sinai Peninsula sits in Asia, while the rest of the country lies in Africa. That makes Egypt a rare country that sits on two continents, and that's not all. Egypt also sits between two seas, making it one of history's greatest crossroads of civilization. Fact 9. Egypt has not one, but two coastlines. The Mediterranean Sea borders the north, while the Red Sea stretches along the east. Together, they have connected Africa, Asia, and Europe for thousands of years. Geography didn't just protect Egypt, it made the country incredibly important. Fact 8. Okay, here's where it gets weird. Egypt has a place called the White Desert. Giant white rock formations rise from the sand looking like mushrooms, icebergs, and even giant chickens. The wind spent millions of years carving these shapes into existence. It looks less like Earth and more like another planet. Fact 7. And somehow, Egypt's desert gets even stranger. Deep inside the Sahara lies the Valley of the Whales. Scientists have discovered hundreds of fossils here, including ancient whales with legs. That's right, whales that could walk. This desert was once covered by an ancient sea over 40 million years ago. One of the driest places on Earth was once underwater. Fact 6. The Great Pyramid of Giza is often called one of humanity's greatest achievements. But here's the part most people don't realize. It remained the tallest human-made structure on Earth for nearly 3,800 years. From the age of the pharaohs until medieval Europe, nothing mankind built came close to its height. Fact 5. For a long time, historians wondered why the pyramids were built where they are. Then scientists discovered something incredible. Thousands of years ago, an ancient branch of the Nile flowed beside them. Massive stone blocks could be transported by boat almost to the construction site itself. The pyramids weren't built in the middle of nowhere. The river was there all along. Fact 4. I have to be real with you. This one is insane. When the Aswan High Dam was built in the 1960s, rising waters threatened to swallow the ancient temples of Abu Simbel forever. So engineers did something that sounds impossible. They cut the entire temple into more than 1,000 pieces, moved it block by block, and rebuilt it on higher ground. Humanity literally moved a mountain to save its history. Fact 3. Egypt is also home to one of the world's most important waterways, the Suez Canal. Around 10 to 12% of global trade passes through this narrow strip of water connecting the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. Thousands of ships travel through it every year. When the canal stops, the entire world notices. Fact 2. For centuries, one of geography's greatest mysteries was the source of the Nile. Ancient Greeks wrote about it. Explorers gave their lives searching for it. Empires wanted to control it, because everyone knew one thing. Whoever understood the Nile understood Egypt. And finally, fact 1. More than 2,000 years ago, the Greek historian Herodotus wrote just 5 words that still describe Egypt perfectly. Egypt is the gift of the Nile. After everything you've seen, it's hard to disagree. One river carved a path through the desert, fed millions of people, built one of history's greatest civilizations, and continues to shape Egypt to this very day. In a country where almost everything is desert, one river changed everything. Anyway, if you enjoyed these incredible facts about Egypt, you'll probably enjoy our video on Argentina facts. Tap on screen, and I'll see you there.